Hi, my name is Rutendo Nyamuda, and welcome back to In My 20s. In my 20s. Guys, I'm so excited to be back on the sound waves, back on the airwaves, back on the podcast waves. This year, it is 2019, and we're going to be bringing you conversations with millennials all about life, work, love, the human experience, and of course, trying to find our purpose in the midst of adulting in our 20s. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to everyone who's doing a new year, new me vibe. We see you. This is your year of breakthrough. All the best. Wishing you the best. And second shout out is to everyone who still has money in their ACC, which is their account, because I know December was like one of those periods where you just wanted to swipe for everything. It's like in December, you kind of became a rapper. And everywhere you were like, it's on me, right? So you were like your family. You're like, dinner's on me. Friends, drinks on me. Kids, presents on me. It's on me. Let me swipe. I got a card. If you don't have a card, you don't swipe. I gotta swipe. At the till, I'm gonna swipe right. Kidding. You swipe left at the till. But anyway, coming back to the podcast, today's episode, I'm very excited for today's guest on the show. She is someone I consider an incredible friend, especially in my 20s journey. So introducing herself to the In My 20s family and the In My 20s podcast, here she is.
I'm Nandi, and my surname is Zulu, and I am Zulu. Gosh, I think I just love people. I love creativity. I love travel. And I'm fortunate enough to have had a variety of those different things in the jobs I've had in the past as a producer, as a writer, as a person in the industry, the media industry, the production industry.
Now, on every episode of the In My 20s podcast, my guests always come through with these incredible mind moments or gem moments, and this is just one of them.
The scientists will tell you that it's the serotonin, and it needs to, that needs to rise up so that like the good voice, is speaking louder than the bad voice. And then the Christians or the spiritual people will bring God into that process, who, God will speak truth and you can pray yourself out of that dark lying space. And the realists will say, go for a run, get some fresh air. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but I think maybe it's a mixture of all three of those things.
The In My 20s podcast is split up into 3 sections. In the first section, we get to hear a little bit more about Nandi's career journey. In the second section, we're going to dive into today's topic, which is all about stopping and starting again. And then rounding up all 3 sections is a conversation about the 20s journey. So without further delay, let's get straight into it. So Nandi, can you tell us a little bit about your career journey? Like, where did you study? What did you study? And how did you get to where you are right now as you sit in front of me?
Okay, so I am a Pietermaritzburg girl. I moved to Cape Town to study, and I went to the University of Cape Town, and I studied film and media, as well as English literature and language. And over the last 8 years since moving to Cape Town, I studied, and then I started working at this little production company. And then I've also worked in an advertising agency, and then I've worked at a bigger production company that did massive commercials, and that was a great learning experience that I actually just wrapped up last week. And then also worked in PR and marketing and events. So it's been a lot of different things career-wise. I've had experiences in, I suppose, a variety of different aspects within the advertising, production, media, PR industry in South Africa. So I'm grateful for that. Literally had stints where we've just been in the development phase of TV shows, and we've shot a lot of great, actually, I was in corporate. I worked in a corporate environment.
I feel like you're having so many revelations on your life. You're like, and I was a dancer and I was a singer.
No, literally, wow, gosh, I've done so much. I'm actually so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I mean, just
stop being so hard on yourself.
Just in light of the fact that I'm about to leave Cape Town, and I've had all these experiences in this place, and opportunities, work environments, and this is actually great that we're having this conversation now on the cusp of me leaving, because I can reflect.
It's like full circle.
It's full circle, and looking forward to the next thing, which at this point, who knows what it could be. Yeah. My desires to travel. I want to just immerse myself into a different culture and just be around different people, and so that's in a nutshell what I've been up to in Cape Town since I moved here in 2010.
So I want to switch gears into today's topic, which is all about stopping and starting again. 12 months ago, you and I were both retrenched from the same company we were working at. We were jobless.
We were jobless.
We had no jobs.
And that wasn't our choice.
It wasn't by choice.
That's the thing with retrenchment, is that it's a whole other story regarding how I came back to work for this company. And then literally, it's just...
We always say it's a TV show.
No, it's
you
a TV
can't script
show.
this
You
stuff.
can't
script it.
It was unscripted.
We were never ready. We were never ready.
We weren't ready. And then it just... And in the strangest way as well. We won't go into the details, but it was...
You'll read our book. You'll read our book. You'll watch the movie.
You'll watch the movie, read the book. Then it will be scripted. So we were jobless. This time last year.
But tell me a little bit about your 2018 journey.
Start of the year, we're without jobs. And I'm actually in a really good space mentally, considering that I don't have a job. And I start out really enthusiastic, actually.
Although you were retrenched.
Although I was retrenched.
Okay, so you were excited for whatever was going to come.
Whatever was going to come.
Because it had to be better than being retrenched, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing about hitting quote-unquote rock bottom, because there's different types of rock bottoms. You learn that just being a human.
You learn that from being at the bottom.
I suppose career-wise or work-wise, it's, not having a job is a rock bottom kind of place. Not really, I suppose, because you can have people who don't have jobs, but they're still working, right? And I suppose that was a plus. I was still working. I was still hustling in my own little way, getting small piece jobs here and there. So I'd start out like that, right? I don't have like a 9-to-5 or anything like that. I'm hustling my way. My friends are being amazing and housing me and feeding me, and I'm doing this thing. I'm in Cape Town. I'm loving it. It's summer. I'm going to the beach. I'm like, it's good times,
Nobody knew. No one could tell.
No one could tell.
Yeah, you were at the beach. I was taking pictures of on our rooftop pool, and everyone's like, "Oh, but you're happy."
You're living your business.
We're retrenched. Anyway.
We're retrenched. And I actually had a I'm retrenched wig, which was bright pink.
Oh, that was the bright pink one, the one I cut for you.
Yes, I cut it into a bob, and I was like, "This is my I'm retrenched look." We totally just took the mickey out of really that entire process.
But what else were we supposed to do? Like, our options were one of two options. Yeah. Be sad and depressed and feel like the world is crumbling down on you and you're retrenched, so we supposed to like drink ourselves to sleep every night and cry. Yeah. Or go, it's summer, we're retrenched. You started working on projects, I started working on projects. This podcast was actually birthed out of that retrenchment period.
Amazing.
So it's like, we had to see and seek joy.
And you were an incredible comfort to me during that time, because I remember we would speak every single day. And every day without fail, we would give ourselves like a, how you doing? And then, how you doing? And you were really there. We were really there for each other during that time, which I'm grateful for, and I'm learning that in every period of life, like, have someone who's there for you. Like, you know, and those people change, and, you know, some people are consistent throughout or whatever, but like having another human being who you can lean on and who you can talk to and discuss stuff in every period of your journey. And I've, you know, over the year, I've gone through periods where it's just been like, I've got that person, and then other times not as well, and that's okay, because I've needed to go through stuff on my own as well, you know, and that's okay. But so the year starts out really great despite the circumstances, and then I get a job, which is fantastic, because then money hashtag capitalism kicks right back and I can pay rent and I can buy food and just like be in the system again, in a way that's, I mean, in a sustainable way for my lifestyle, I suppose. And that's great. I enjoy the job initially, and then I hit a snag with my mental health. I have different words for it depending on, I don't know, my mood or whatever is going on at the time. But I sort of, you know, they talk about triggers in mental health, and my triggers are, one of my big triggers is feeling existential angst. Okay. You know,
what do you mean by that?
I mean, when in my work, which is not a good thing, I've since learned is not a good thing, that I place such a huge emphasis on my career and my work fulfilling a sense of like,
self-worth.
A sense of self-worth and purpose, you know. So I started feeling really just like, what am I doing like in this job, and then, you know, and then that spurs on to like, or it rippled into, what am I doing in these friendships? What am I doing in, you know, with these boys? Mid-year was really trying, mental health wise. I really, there were so many moments where I deeply wanted to feel right again, and I just couldn't. You can't make yourself feel right again. You just like in this hole, this dark hole, and by the grace of God, I think, you know, I had a moment of taking some medication, but it didn't really work for me. I suppose I'm not really a medication person. And I went for a few sessions of therapy, but it's really expensive, and then I couldn't afford it anymore. And like, so it's, you know, mental health is, I'm glad that it's on a stage now, and people feel free to talk about it now. And it's not an easy thing to talk about, actually. It's still, I think there is still a stigma attached to it. And I suppose I can also talk about it more freely now that I'm in a better space. Although I don't know if I'll ever feel like, you know, you can't predict it. You don't know when you're going to be fine again, or, you know, it's treated in different ways for different people. You know, I read something the other day that, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, go for walks, be healthy, eat right, talk to your people, blah de blah, and then you'll be cured, you know, or take, you know, do all these things, take the medication, go to the therapy, do the exercise, do all these great like mental health things that help you in your depression. But then this person was telling the story of how like her brother struggled with depression, did all the things, and then still took his own life, you know. And so you can have all the things that you must do in order to be okay, you know, and treat the illness, but it's just one of it's and I think it's an illness that is hard. I think it's very unique to each person. You know, the way I dealt with it is very much my experience. And of course there are things that I can do to help aid the process when I am in that dark hole, you know.
I myself have had anxiety and have had depression, and I've seen a psychologist. I went to see a psychologist twice, not for mental health conditions, but it was also dealing with the passing of my father, and then how the anxiety and the depression and all of these things also started to kick in as a result. One, seeing a psychologist is so expensive.
I don't know.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's like
I'm not in that tax bracket.
No,
so I'll say that much. Yeah.
And then also medication is really expensive. And then who do you talk to? What does your culture say about mental health? Are you even allowed to suffer from a mental health condition based on the culture that you're from? You can't just say, like, having a cough or a cold, you can see it, you can hear it, can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Mental health, depression, anxiety. How can I explain to you what's happening in my heart or in my mind? How am I supposed to explain the thoughts that I'm having, the actions that I'm, I can be smiling with you, but you don't know what's going on. So that is the thing, is because you can't see it. There is no way of packaging it and boxing and pointing out in the street going, there's someone with a mental health condition, there's someone with a mental health condition. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So those are the things that as much as people are talking about it, we need to also be, offering solutions or saying to guys, if you are going through something, what do you do? It's like, people shouldn't have to suffer alone.
No, and I mean, I wish it were that easy. Like, I feel like there's been too many casualties for us to just reduce it to that as well, to just be like, you're not alone. I feel like I knew I wasn't alone, but I still felt alone, and I still was alone in my struggle, in my head. So there's more. Like, it's like, I think it is an area that needs more research. Yeah. And that, and I think our generation also just like, we're a target, like a lot of us are just experiencing this. There's a lot of people. I don't know what it is about our society and the way that the world is run. I don't know. Yeah. But like, we're all going through the most when it comes to this. But not all hope is lost. Yeah.
Why did you feel like I know I've done it as well, but for you, why did you feel, although you knew you had people in your circle and people you could speak to and that you weren't alone, why did you still feel alone?
My struggle was, I think it's weird. It's like your mind plays tricks on you. I honestly believed that I was being a burden on people if I reached out to them and told them that I was feeling this way. I was feeling this dark, heavy way. And I honestly, I felt unloved, not unloved. I knew I was loved, but I felt unlovable. Like I was too much. Like my friend, like, no, like I'm too much of a wreck or too weird or too whatever to have another human being be with me in this process, So, but that was a mind trick. Like, it's like my mind was playing tricks on me because in hindsight, those thoughts aren't true. A lot of it was lies. I think the way I've tried to understand it or rationalize it is that, like, I was just being told lies, but in my mind, one of the people in my head was just telling me lies about the fact that I was not lovable and that I was worthless. I didn't have a purpose. I was ruining my life. Wow. And yes, I mustn't have, I'm too messed up to have people help me on this journey. So I must just be alone and suffer alone. Like, I had those evil lying voices in my head telling me that I must stay alone. I must suffer alone. And I think that's that voice that maybe resides in everybody's head, and some people are mute that voice and they don't hear it, or when it comes up they quickly replace it with the truth. But like, that voice gets really, really, really loud for me when I'm in my feels, in my really dark hole feels, it's and it's lies. And the scientists will tell you that it's the serotonin, and it needs to, that needs to rise up so that, like, the good voice is speaking louder than the bad voice. And you write it emotionally like that. and then the Christians or the spiritual people will bring God into that process, who, God will speak truth, and you can pray yourself out of that dark lying space. And the realists will say, go for a run, get some fresh air. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but I think maybe it's a mixture of all three of those things. And
it's like you're fighting. It's a battle. It's a physical, mental, and spiritual battle. And you're fighting on all planes.
All levels.
Hey.
Yeah.
Because even that energy, sometimes you get up in the morning where you're like, I can't do it. Then you tell yourself, just do it. Just put your foot out. Just put your foot out. Just step out. Just walk.
That's it. That's it. And I suppose when I'm at the moment, it's not such a huge thing for me to get up out of bed in the morning. I'm just tired and I'm like 5 minutes, but it's not like that, like something sitting on your chest.
Like pushing you back. Yeah.
And you're just like, I can't get out there. I can't get out there. And you keep the covers over your head and you're just like, I won't. And it's like I don't know what it is, but I just you feel pressed down, and that, it's a different thing, right? Like now I'm just like, I'm tired, I just want 5 minutes, and then you get up and you go and live your life.
Yeah.
But like that, in the depths of my depression, it weighs heavily on you, and I'm so I'm grateful that I'm still alive. That's hectic. It's hectic, and it must mean there's something I need to do still, because there were real moments where I did not want to be alive. So yeah, there's things to do, and I'm not saying it's never going to happen again, in terms of getting to that place. I pray to God that it doesn't, and I will do my best to keep healthy, because there is an element of doing what you can, just all in a balance, right? Because I said you can do all the things as well, like that lady's story of her brother who did all the things, and then still, but there is a responsibility, so if you have a broken leg, you get the crutches, you go for physiotherapy, you take the meds, and you heal, so heal, take time in whatever way works for you to heal, and I'm in that process right now of finding those things that help me heal, that help me stay healthy as well, because then it's just like an ongoing journey, it's not, I didn't have a great day today. I'm feeling super overwhelmed with everything that's going on. But
all the emojis.
Now I'm having this conversation with you and I feel so much better,
I must be very honest with you. I think, sure, it's just interesting that this happened in this podcast. I'm not crying, I promise. But it's just like, this for me is it. This for me is what this platform is about. It's this understanding that, and yes, you understand that you're not alone, but you need to hear someone say, me too. You need to hear someone say, I feel the same, I've gone through the same thing, and I hear you. You need to hear someone say, it was a weight that was pushing me back in bed, so you don't start thinking you're going crazy. It happened to someone else. It happened to Nandi. Nandi got out of bed. I can get out of bed too. That is what this is about. That is what In My 20s is about. Whether it's a financial struggle or an emotional struggle or a
purpose struggle,
a purpose struggle. It's saying you're not the only one going through it. Let's go through this together. Right?
Yeah.
But I think all in all, your 2018 journey has been interesting, and Megan in a previous podcast spoke about how being in your 20s is a beautiful mess. I felt 2018 was just messy.
It's like
Was it not beautiful?
It was just messy. It was beautiful
Yeah.
in terms of what was created from some of the chiseling and some of the cutting and the pruning, but it was messy. In terms, I mean, I can totally relate to your journey, like that. You've had incredible high highs, you've had really low lows, but through all of that, like I think that there is a pruning in the process that has presented the you are today, the you who can sit in front of me and says, I'm happy, I'm alive, I can talk about my depression with confidence and I'm not shying away from it.
Yeah.
I want to stop working at this company because it's not doing me any good, and I want to travel because traveling is going to introduce me to new cultures and customs and a beautiful world that I never saw before. That is incredible. Not a lot of people do that. But sometimes we're not able to get to these moments without realizing or without life shedding the things that we don't need.
I came to this realization that I'm all I've got.
Sure.
You know, this is it. I'm me. And wherever I am in the world, or whatever job I'm in, and or relationship or circumstance I'm in, I'm always gonna have me. So I have to be good to myself.
So Nandi, bringing this home to what this podcast is about, conversations with people in their 20s, how would you summarize your 20s journey thus far?
I would describe it as, I used to do plays in high school. It's opening out, whatever. You're just about to go into stage. It's like, okay, you're doing this thing, you're performing. And I think that like excitement, that energy, that like vibrancy and just like whatever, nerves, everything, like just going through is like the beginning of your 20s. And then like you go onto the stage and you start performing or dancing and singing or whatever it is that you're doing. That's the experience of going through your 20s. It's like, it's happening now. It's like the show is on.
Wow.
The people are there, they're watching. You know, you may fall on your face and you will fall on your face, maybe, depending on how hard you rehearsed or prepared. Or just accidents happen, you know? Like, it just does often feel like just like a show. Yeah.
But it's unscripted.
It's unscripted, but it's live. That, like, on-air sign is bright red. You're alive.
You're alive.
You're going for it.
Wow. And you never know what the next moment is going to bring, the next conversation, who you're going to bump into. I hear you. It's, it's beautiful.
And it's rich and it's raw and you change characters in between. I think of the growth I've experienced over the last 8 years since turning 20. And I'm not a different person. The essence of who I am is still very much alive, but I've changed a lot as well. I don't know if I really knew, I don't know how much I really anticipated a change happening in me. I was always so concerned about whether or not I was on the right track. You know, I was like, in my earlier 20s, I was so like, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing?
Yes.
Am I in the right job? Am I talking to the right people? And it was just like, I always wanted to be doing quote unquote the right thing. And I'm learning that you're not gonna have a voice in the sky talking down to you and saying you
are my son. You've forgotten me and forgotten who you are. Remember. Sorry.
Are you looking forward to the live action?
I mean, I've been known in the Lion King circles as the fifth ripple, but as you were.
Oh, you cracked me up.
Essentially, what advice do you have for, I'd guess, people in their 20s right now who they're spinning? I gave you the analogy earlier and I showed you with the cup, how I feel like 2018 was like a water, 2018 was a cup filled with water to the top and it starts spinning and water starts leaving it and it's getting difficult and the spinning is getting more harder, and that's kind of like the chiseling. And I honestly think that when we count the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Happy New Year, whatever's not left in that cup is not supposed to be with you in 2019. That's my thing right now, how I feel. So what advice do you have for people who are going through the cycle, who've gone through the motions of what you've gone through this year, who are spinning and who want to just stop and start again? What advice do you have for them?
Take some time out to just be still, just be honest with yourself. That for me is quite, I would definitely give that as some solid advice. being honest with yourself. Dream again. Dream about like what you want to do, where you want to be. Use the stillness or the stopping to just like look at your surroundings. Take each area of your life, I suppose, spiritually, mentally. I mean, I'm speaking to myself even as I speak to you. Like, do the hard work. Be intentional. Be intentional with looking at your spiritual life, your physical life, your career, your relationships, all the things, and just being like, what's going on here? Like, what do I need to change? What do I need to work on? What's okay? Like, just do like an audit, you know. I mean, that's what I did before I made, or in that process of making my decision to stop and to start again. Just ask yourself, is this what I really want in whatever area? Do I really want to be in this relationship? Do I really want to be in this job? And then and that doesn't mean like quit the next day or whatever, but just like, be intentional. Work at it, you know. It's not just going to happen.
And with that brings us to the end of the first episode of the In My 20s podcast 2019. Special thanks to Nandi Zulu for coming onto today's show. Nandi, I know we've obviously had this discussion or these kinds of discussions throughout 2018 and at the beginning of 2019. And I just wanted to commend you for being so brave to come and speak on the show on a platform where it is bigger than just your close friends and family, and that is incredibly commendable. So thank you so much. And I am so sure that someone listening to this episode of the show will be able to get something from it and go, if Nandi did it, I can do it too, and I am going to be okay. One of the things that really stood out for me in this show was what you said right at the end about being intentional. This is 2019, and with the ups and downs of 2018, this is a year of being intentional. It's not just about dreaming. It's not just about talking about your ideas and what you want to do. It's about seeing it, writing it down, write the vision, make it plain, and work towards it every single day, because those small steps that you're going to be taking to the big goal are going to make such a difference. It's not an overnight success. There's no such thing as an overnight success. We're working at this. Everyone is working at something. Just because you don't see the grind of what everyone else is doing, and just because people don't see your grind, doesn't mean you're not moving in the right direction. So keep moving forward and have faith in your dreams and in yourself. But I am going to wrap this, and I really look forward to the next discussion and the next conversation, which will happen right here. Same time, same place. I know I say that, but I mean like, but we'll see you next week, Thursday, with the In My 20s podcast. Follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and the In My 20s podcast obviously is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So we'll see you same time, same place-ish, right here on In My 20s. In my 20s, in my 20s. How old are you? I'm gonna be in my 20s. In my 20s. Oh, that's a high note. I'm not even. Okay, bye.